Hi, welcome to Crazy Turtle. Welcome back to our pumpkin frenzy week, I guess. And I am going to make a pumpkin pie spice roll for you today. They are beautiful to look at. I know you see them in the grocery store. I also want to show you how easy it is for you to make them at home. So you see this close-up of my mixer. I have 3 eggs at room temperature and a cup of granulated sugar. And I'm simply going to beat this until it's thick and light yellow in color. As you can see, it's nice and thick and kind of fluffy, but that color is a beautiful, beautiful light yellow. Now it's time to beat in 2/3 a cup of pumpkin, and this is close to about half of a standard can that you get in the grocery store. So yeah, definitely when I bake this, I'm always baking muffins or something else to use up the rest of my pumpkins. So I'm just going to gently mix that in. So you can see this lovely pumpkin orange color after blending that pumpkin puree in. And I'm just going to fold in all of my dry ingredients that I have whisked together previously. Now with the spices, this is something that you can play with on your own. I just try and kind of keep the same proportions. I really love nutmeg, so I tend to add a little extra nutmeg into my dishes. However, sometimes I have a little craving for ginger, and ginger works really well with this. So as you make this and feel confident with how it turns out, play with your flavors. It's kind of the part of the fun thing, and that can keep you coming back in the kitchen. So I am just kind of gently putting that back in there because we do have some air that we've beat into those eggs. Now, when you make a roll cake, it rolls for a reason because it's lighter and fluffier than a typical box mix cake, which are generally dense. So if you've tried a roll cake before using a box mix and it didn't turn out, it's because it wasn't really supposed to. Flavoring probably just great, but it did not get that roll. So let me show you the next step. But look, looks delicious right now. So preparation for this part is key. Oh, you need about a 10 to 15 inch jelly roll pan. 9 by 14 would work. I don't have that exact size, so I just kind of did a little makeshift one, found an extra pan to kind of make it a little bit smaller. This is parchment paper, and I've already sprayed it. My oven's preheating to 375 degrees. And when we pour this, I just use these just to kind of clip this down for now, because if you've used parchment paper, it's just going to kind of float all over the place. And we're just going to pour our beautiful cake mixture in here. And if it does not reach to every single corner, that's okay, because when we do roll this out and fill it, we will definitely be trimming the edges. So perfection is not necessary because we're baking and we can always do a little adjustment here, a little adjustment there, a little decoration. That's what it's all about. key, again, is just to try and make it as even as possible. Oops. But again, there's always ways to adjust and hide that if necessary. Isn't that wonderful? Cooking, you can kind of do a lot of little things with spices, or there's always little tricks. And just what you want, a rectangular shape. So this is going into the oven. It is approximately 14 to 16 minutes. It is something that you're going to want to watch. And how do you know it's done? If you touch it and it springs back. So that's my hint for you. And when I see you back, it will be baked and it will have cooled for 2 minutes. So good luck, have fun, cross your fingers. All right, so my roll cake is cooling right now for about 2 minutes. And so this maybe is the trickier, intimidating part. So I'm going to try and go over this. You'll hear the buzzer here in a second. But I do have a wire rack all ready and a clean cloth. And I do have some powdered sugar or confectioner's sugar ready to go. So we want to take our time with this, but also get it while the getting's good. So let me grab my pumpkin roll. And you see it springs back. Oh, it looks so good. And mine, yeah, it kind of is a little bit uneven, but that's okay. We are going to roll from the short side. So before I do this, I am going to just dust. And if you have, I would do it with a colander if you don't have something like this, but I'm going to use it because it's quite handy. And set my cloth on top of this, my rack, and 1, 2, 3, flip it over. And gently peel back that parchment. I don't want to leave that on. I've tried it. It seems to trap in the moisture and then the cake falls apart. But this looks great. I'm going to dust with a little bit more powdered sugar. And gently roll. Don't want to go too tight. But a loose roll. And there we go. I'll let that cool completely. I have in another video the filling that I'm going to use. So when I see you again, we are going to be ready to fill and plate. So I'll include that link in the description just so I don't make this video too incredibly long for you. So see you when it's cool for our lovely pumpkin spice roll treat. Hey, welcome back. So my cake roll is completely cooled. In the meantime, I have made my filling. This is a vanilla mascarpone filling. I think adding a maple to it would probably be very good with this recipe, but we're just going to stick with the traditional right now and show you how this works. And oh yes, it is marvelous. So we can just fill this, no cracks. The cloth, the dishcloth, I think always works for me. So I hope you will find success with this method as well. It's also helpful, the powdered sugar. And again, it wasn't too much, so it didn't add a ridiculous amount of sweetness. But just also kind of helped that not stick as the steam releases from being cooked, and the cloth as well, the fibers, it allows that steam to release. So I'm trying to cover to the edges, because we may have to trim, but I want to get as much of this as possible. Or actually, not may, we will have to trim. And okay, I'm rolling it back up. Actually, I will use the cloth here to help. Ooh. Even though I have done this many times, I'm always quite excited when it unrolls for me. Why cook something if there's not an element of thrill to it? Yes. So we'll pull all of that off. Yay! Super duper happy. Going to set that on my platter. And let's see, how much do we need to cut off? And there we go. A really lovely cut on our pumpkin roll. Maybe this is something you'll want to serve for the holidays. But I hope you give it a try. Use those tips. Do not be intimidated by it. It will impress your family. You can do it. Thanks for tuning in so much to Crazy Turtle, and I hope you stay well. Take care. Ba, 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 da, ba.